what they used to cut trees down back then when they didn't have all these things we have today. But
when you don't have a chainsaw or you don't have any of your big sawmills or anything, what you had to use was this big long saw right here for two people use.
But they usually make planks like that over there, and or they can get like the logs, cut little like slap holes right there, and then they stick the planks in there, or like make it like logs.
Or you can make a log cabin.
Yeah.
We'll demonstrate how to use it.
So basically, whenever I pull, he's gonna basically walk with it. It's like stay with the flow. You don't push it when someone pushes, you just walk with it like this.
And then I'll pull it. We're making a few different things. We're making Christmas tree ornaments. We're making split crosses. You can see them over there, all the different things that we're making. We're doing it kind of in a more rustic, rudimentary way, in which we're using a hand crank to keep the fire going. We're using coke, pre-burned coal, in order to get it hot. And and so it's using a lot of the older processes that have always been a part of blacksmithing. Blacksmithing, of course, is a really important thing if you're talking about almost any period in human history has really had to rely upon the blacksmith at one time or another. Even in the 2000s. So even if there's still horses today, right? Yeah. People still have knives on kitchen tables, right? Those are different things that blacksmiths can still use and be very useful for. So yeah.
Big block, right? Okay, so how do you think this works?
Twist that, it drills in. Twist that, and
And you're gonna press down, and you're just gonna spin it, and it just spins.
I want to
Super, super hard, super fast. Hold on, I gotta fix it too. It's over here.
She is actually on a break right here. She's really, really helpful.
Talking about the benefits of corn and the pioneer days and how they used every part of it from the cob to the shuck. And the children are learning how to shuck corn by hand. And then we have the grinder over here that just removes the kernels, and then the further grinder that grinds it down to prepare it to be made into cornmeal.
It's also called a fanny basket. A fanny basket. Y'all ever heard somebody say your fanny? No. Used to they'd say fanny instead of butt. But anyway, it's a deep fanny because it has a deep crack in the bottom. This one's also a fanny basket, but it's not a deep fanny. See, it's flat on the bottom, but it's still a fanny basket. It used to be my egg basket I used at home, but the handles broke, so I had to make a new egg basket. I used it in the clothes. Kind of distorted. It's kind of a weird looking fanny if you look at the bottom of it. But it's also an egg basket. It's called a utensil basket. It's a little big.
Talking about King Cotton, the white gold of Mississippi, if you will, because Mississippi is the best place in the U.S. for growing cotton. To the point that when we were offered to grow other things, we were like, no, we want to grow cotton here. We know what that is. And back in the day, when we were picking cotton by hand and pulling the seeds out by hand, kids would get out of school early to go and pick cotton in the field with their family. And each person would probably produce about 1 pound of picked cotton, like no seeds in it, a day. But it's tedious. And each person would roughly fill up a shoe with all these cotton seeds before they left the field. And it was just so tedious with so little results that Eli Whitney came along and he made the cotton gin. And we've got one up behind us that doesn't work, but what they would do is they would take the big old bale, one person would dump it on the back, and then one person would crank a handle and it would pull all the seeds and sticks out. And in that fashion, while it was cranked by hand, they could produce about 50 pounds of cotton a day. And then when we attached motors to it, that went up to 500 pounds of cotton per 21 minutes. And all of a sudden, cotton was a lot easier to get and a lot easier to produce. And that's the seed right there. And they could be used to either grow more cotton, feed cows, make cottonseed oil to cook with. So they were finding the use in every reader.
was one of the real popular school books, certainly. You'll see, you can just look through there and see, oh, here's cursive writing. Y'all learn how to do cursive writing anymore? Yeah. Some schools are not doing that anymore. Of course, my cursive looks like mine. Oh, and then you know that if you tried to write with your left hand, you would get a paddling on your hand, and the pencil would go to your right hand, or your chalk would go to the right hand. That's right. So they tried to change everybody from being left-handed. Well, I'm left-handed, so...
Socialization, how to dance in a circle, how to have fun without tablets or iPads or iPhones, that have social interaction and have a good time and get together on a Saturday night in Pioneer Day.
Every time it's told to sing, oh, frog, got a good way. Turkey in the straw, turkey in the hay, turkey in the straw, turkey in the hay. Roll them up, twist them up, I took a haul, twist them up and just name it turkey in the straw. Oh, I jumped in the seat and I gave a little yell. The horses ran away with the wagon all to hell. The sugar in the gourd and the honey in the corn. Never been so happy since the day I was born. Turkey in the straw, turkey in the hay, turkey in the straw. What did they say? Roll them up, twist them up, I took a haul, twist them up and do it.
This is the punishment section. This jail came to us from Holly Springs, Mississippi. We think it's about 150 years old. We think it was probably part of a railroad car at one time. So this is the pillory. This is basically adult timeout. The judge would sentence you to the pillory. The most common thing you would get sentenced to would be perjury, lying to the court. The judge would send you straight to the pillory. So that's the punishment section.
Just demonstrating how to make stuff out of leather, belts, and just pretty much anything except saddles. I don't make saddles. Okay. I make hunting accessories and belts and wallets and phone pouches, you know, like you hang on your belt. Okay.
Apple cider maker. Along the 1600s, apple cider, the tradition of preserving apple in the juice form came over from England and other places in Europe. Well, once what they would do is they would take an apple and they would put it in a machine like this. They would peel it and decore it, and you see how it's doing there. Well, they'd take the peelings and they'd put them in jars and put water in the jars. And the jar would actually ferment and boil and actually get hot and things of that nature and make vinegar for preserving food as well. And then they'd take the other parts of the apple and place it in the machine, and there's a block of wood in there. When you raise it up, put the apples in, you'd fill it up, start pressing it down. Then the juice would run out here and they would catch it in a pitcher or they catch it in a barrel and things of that nature. But once they collected the juice, sometimes it'd have pulp in it. So they put a sheet or a piece of cloth over and then catch the pulp and pour it over and that, so that they would be just juice only. And the reason that they use the apple cider more so than anything else because the water and things of that nature back then was, you know, kind of stagnant and diseased, and they would get sick from it. So they would reserve their apple cider for.
We're teaching the kids how the pioneers how to build their own houses and what they used to build their houses. Because if they couldn't build their house by nightfall, then the pioneers would have to sleep under the stars, or they would have to sleep in their wagons. And we're just showing the kids how we had to build our houses.
You do get your cloth, make sure it doesn't have a lot of wrinkles in it. You might want to iron it. We started a symmetrical design here. Who can tell me what symmetrical means? Yes? It's a pattern of what? A pattern. How is it unusual? How is it? What does symmetrical mean? It means it's going to be, if it's divided into two lateral sides, it's going to be identical on both sides, right? Do you see the symmetry here? Yeah, that's true. But it's the same over here on the left side as it is on the right side. I know.
This lady will tell you about spinning wool if you're waiting.
We are.
Union County Peacemakers. And we've our club started up in 1995, and so we just basically what we started doing was making the quilts, and we quilt them, and then we give them to people like if their houses burn or if they have a sick child or something like that, we give it to them, and then we also quilt for each other.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right.
Same time.
Same time? All started. Really?
We all three did.
Really? Okay. Okay. So do y'all enjoy it a lot?
Oh, we enjoy it. The fellowship is awesome.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, good.
Awesome.
We meet every second and fourth Tuesdays at the fairground in New Orleans.
Okay, good. Good.
Sometimes we go out and eat.
Oh, that sounds
Sometimes we
good.
carry a dish.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes we just have peanut butter and crackers.
That's all right. That's all right. Yeah. Okay. Show us a little bit. Okay.
It's a process of making lace.
Okay.
The Victorian women used to tat. It's a series of loops that you make on a thread. With certain tension. The tension is what stumps everybody when they try to learn. It's kind of hard to catch on to that. Mm-hmm. But the lace that you make from that, they used on their clothes and on their home items like pillowcases and scarves, dresser scarves and things. And this is just a line, a row of tatting that could be used as an edging.
I've been making corn shuck dolls for a good while, and these two girls on my side, both sides of me, have been with me this week, and they've learned how to make corn shuck dolls too. So I make them out of this kind of corn shucks, and then I take the inside of the corn shuck, the silks, and when they dry, I use them for the hair, and that's what this is. And I use this for the hair for my dolls. And see, sometimes it's kind of strange how it turns out. Some will be blonde, and some will be real dark. Some will be kind of red. But anyway, I use the raffia to tie them up with, and I'm working on one now. And this one's gonna look kind of like this one.
Some glad morning when this life is over, I'll fly away to a land where joy will never end. I'll fly away. Oh, I'll fly away. Oh, glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away.
When I get them deep river blues, got no one to cry for me, fish on the well.